Hey guys, Zera TC coming with you with another video. This is gonna be like the title says, my OP04 mono blacklist of both Lucci and Smoker. And the reason I'm doing both is because the deck list is basically the same except for 3 cards or 4 cards difference. So yeah, we'll get to it. I'm gonna start from bottom to top, give you the rationale why I believe mono black is the way to go in this meta, and then you guys will decide which leader that you feel like is the best one that you guys want to use. So let's go ahead and get to it. We're going to go ahead and start with Lucci just because this is the last leader I just played in OP03 with the hybrid build. Such a strong leader. When something gets popped, you're able to trash 2 cards and restand them after you attacked with them already, allowing you to have a double attack with the leader. And then whatever Dawn you already have on them, so if I put 10 Dawn on them, making 15, swing, pop something, trash 2, I'm able to restand, swing another 15, for example. In this deck list, you're able to do that, but it's rare. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be like a 12k or 10k or even 9k twice. Such a good card in Whitebeard. That's the reason I chose him to play in OP03. Able to go 8-2 in regionals, and then winning the TCG con in Tampa. So very strong leader. I really like him. So let's go ahead and see the cards that will help him. We'll start out with 4 Shockwaves. So Shockwave, as you guys know, is a 4k counter with using 2 Dawn. You're able to pop an active character that's a 3 cost or less, allowing you to slow down the game against Law and Zoro. I believe since Zoro just won Knoxville, I believe, we're going to start seeing a lot more Zoros popping up. So I think the 4 to even 3 Shockwaves is needed, unless there's another event that you guys feel like it's better. And it is a Navy, so you could search it. The reason I say you can search it since it's a Navy is, of course, your boy is running 4 brand news. So brand new is a 2-cost searcher, so unfortunately the best play is when you see him when you go second. And you top 3 and search a Navy card. This allows you to keep your cards in your hand and search the pieces that you need in the early game and have a body to pop or swing at on a little guy, especially against Zoro. So I believe in this list you must run 4, but that's just my opinion. From there, we're going to run 2 Surus. Surus on play, you can -2 on a 2 cost on a character, and it's a 2k counter. That's mainly why we use this for the 2k, but it lets you combo for the other cards you're going to see here if you need to do that -2k, since your leader doesn't have a generic way to minus cost, right? The main 2k we're going to run here is Tashigi. I really like Tashigi. It's a 3 cost to play, so if you go first, it's one of the characters I play instead of using her as a 2k when I'm running Lucci. Basically, is because when you have her on play and she doesn't get answer at any point in the game, if you need to -2, you can just rest her, -2 on your opponent's character, and if she survives on next turn, she restands. You can swing with her, or you can use the -2 again for combo potential. I do not use her in the Zoro matchup just because she does get answer with Otama Marco or Fire Fisted. But in these late game, slower matches with Queen, Dofi, Rebecca, even Croc, Tashigi, I would definitely play the Tashigi just for that combo potential that you're going to see with the other cards. And of course, if you don't want to use her or she comes too late, then she's a 2k counter, so it works either way. So right there, that's his 6 2k so far. Next is going to be 2 3-drop Kobe's. Kobe on play, trash 1 card from your hand, pop a 3 cost or less, allowing you to slow down the game and control your opponent's field so you can get to the late game without too much pressure. You want to definitely relieve pressure as much as you can with this build because you want to get to the late game pretty healthy. So Kobe's going to let you do that, and then it's a body that with 1 Dawn, since he's a 3-4, you can then either put pressure on your opponent's leader or mainly control the board by swinging at something that's resting. From there, we're gonna play one of the best blockers, which is Fukuro's. He is not searchable since he's CP9, unfortunately, but his effect is so good that he's a 3 for 3 blocker that you can actually swing with if you're gonna fighting against a Zoro. But he cannot be popped by effects on your turn or your opponent's turn, allowing this guy to stick. And that's the main thing you want to do with him. So going first with Lucci, you're looking at 4 Tashigis, 4 Fukuros, 2 Kobis, giving you 10 cards as an option to play when you go first on your 3 Dawn turn. The next card I have here, which is one of the best blockers I believe as well, is the new Bartolomeo. So Bartolomeo is a blocker, but for 3, it's a 3/3 like Fukuro, but he can be popped. So you want to be careful when you play him as a Shamp blocker because he can just get Marco right away or Fire Fisted. So if you don't want to use him as a blocker, he's a 2K shield as well, giving you 10 2Ks in the deck, but also gives you an option to play him as a Shamp blocker if you feel like it's safe. Very good card. I think it's a must-have because it gives you both best of both worlds of a blocker and a 2K. The only problem is you cannot search it with the brand new. The next card in the deck is one Kobe. So here we go with the combos, right? So Kobe for 4 Dawn on your second turn when you go second, you're able to play him, and then if you want, you can rest it and you KO up to one of your opponent's 2 costs or less. If it survives, you unrest it and you can just keep doing this. So your opponent's gonna have to answer this. It's only a 1K power, but 9 times out of 10 they're gonna swing it with their leader to make sure it goes bye-bye. But either way, it still helps you because not only you kill something that if you're gonna rest it, you pop something on your opponent's side of the field. Now they're instead of swinging at your leader, they're swinging at the Kobe, unless they're gonna go for game, right? It's also a 1K counter, so it lets you, if you don't want to use them, you can just counter with them. But then with Tashigi, if you already have Tashigi out, and say you went first, so on your 3 Dawn turn, you play Tashigi, and then on your 5th Dawn turn, if you had nothing else to do, but you saw Kobe, and your opponent, since he went second, he played a 4 cost or whatever, Kuzan, Horlumbus, Danami, you're playing Dofi that can search. You can rest Tashigi, play Kobe, rest Kobe, pop those important characters. And now 9 times out of 10, those decks don't have rush unless the Rebecca already has the field card and all that stuff, and the Dofi doesn't. So then the Dofi has to choose which card to pop, the Tashigi Rester to combo or the Kobe. And 9 times out of 10 they'll pick the Kobe. Point being is you got rid of one of their opponent cards and you saw that on game. And that's the reason I'm running this as a one-off just for those scenarios. But this is one card that you can remove for sure to use something else if you feel like there's another better card, or you'd rather have the 3-drop Kobe instead of this one. The other reason I like this card is you don't have to trash a card to activate its effect, allowing you to even late game this card becomes broken, because if you have other combo cards that you're gonna see that just keeps lowering down cost, you can just play him and pop anything, and then you can restand your leader for just 4 Dawn. Alright, so anyways, so that is the new starter deck Kobe as a one-off. Here we go for more combo potential. We have the 4 Kuzan. So Kuzan lets you unplay, draw a card so it replaces itself, so you can stay okay with the hand size. But the main thing is when you attack with him, you get to -4 on anything. This again combos well with the Kobe on your 6th Dawn turn. So then now he can start popping 6 costs or less. And then it also is going to help you with other cards. Or in the 3-drop Kobe, it will let you then start popping 7-drop or less. And then it's going to help you with other cards. So it's just a combo card play. Your opponent has to answer this Kuzan, allowing you to even bluff with them. Say you really don't have anything, but you want to get to your late game. So what sometimes you swing with him, so then your opponent has to then swing over him. Again, giving like a, what's it called, like a scapegoat. giving you a scapegoat so then they swing at him instead of your leader, giving you breathing room so then you can then start playing the cards you need to play next turn. Since again, when you play him, you get to draw a card, and maybe that was the piece you needed. So it's just very good as a scapegoat, very good as a combo piece for late game, early game, mid game. So that's the reason you run 4 of the Kuzans. Next is going to be 4 Borsalinos. Borsellino, very self-explanatory. It's a 4-drop, 6k blocker on your opponent's turn. And then on your opponent's turn, it cannot be popped by effect. So he's just another sticky boy, allowing you to slow down the game. As you can see the theme, so you can have your combo pieces and get to late game. So right there we have 4 Fukuros, 4 Bartolomeos, 4 Borsellinos. That gives you 12 blockers. And then the new card here, 4 Sabos, giving you a total of 16 blockers, 10 2Ks of the deck. Again, whole point of the deck is to get to the late game pretty healthy so you can play your big boys. Sabo, very broken card. I really like how they made Sabo one of the best cards for black, giving you on play, draw 2, discard 2. Right there, that is the best thing black needed. And that's the main reason why I went hybrid, so I can do that same thing that Sabo was doing with Khalifa. But now I don't need to do that since Sabo is doing that. For all those new black players, black's biggest problem, and I keep repeating myself, is we do not draw cards. We only play with the cards you see. You're only replacing a card with brand new, maybe Kuzan, and now with Khalifa, those steps to play CP9, and then now with Sabo. We're still not drawing anything extra, but we're able to at least hopefully pick up our pieces, remove our pieces to draw 2 other new fresh cards to then help us win the game. And that just in that role, it does help us. Hopefully later we do get away so we can at least plus. But as of now, this is our best way for a mono black leader to get rid of dead cards and draw the pieces we need. So such a big power boost. And then icing on the cake, guys, it is a blocker, a 6k blocker, and on play, every card that you had on the field cannot be killed by effects on your turn that you play him, and then on your opponent's turn on the kickback, allowing your Borsellinos, your Kuzans, anything really, become like a Fukuro for a full turn of your turn and your opponent's turn. And then when it goes back to your turn, then it goes away. But just that alone will also help you slow down game and feel safe when you start swinging, so your Borsellino doesn't die on your swing turn to a trigger effect. Such a good card. And especially against 10-drop Kaidos, the purple ones that some blue-purple Kaidos run, you can just play Sabos back to back, and the 10-drop would not be played because then you can't pop anything. So, and then against I just keep talking about this card because it's just such a amazing card that they did for mono black. When you play against the black mirror, this card becomes essential because if you feel like a Sakazuki is gonna come out or a 10-drop Kuzan is gonna come out, you play the Sabo, and now it kind of halts them from playing those big removals for a turn, slowing them down, and then you get to play your removal or even play another Sabo. So that's it. I'm just gonna move on because there's so much of it. So must play 4 of, in my opinion, and I feel like every black deck from now on is gonna play 4 of that Sabo. Another caveat: the only bad thing about it is you cannot search it with a brand new because, of course, Sabo is not a navy. Moving on is going to be 2 5-drop Garps. Another card that's going first, so you have your 10 3-drops that you can choose. Technically 14 if you feel like playing the Bartolomeo. And then for your 5-drop turn, we're talking about you can do the 4-drop Kuzan, you can do your 4-drop Borsellinos, you can do your 5-drop Sabos, or you can do your 5-drop Garps. Garps on play, not on play, but when you play them, you can rest them, trash a card to pop a 4 cost or less. And as you guys already know, with the Toshigi, it makes it a 6 cost. And with your 4-drop Kuzans, it makes it a 8 cost or less. Allowing to slow down the game because this card has to be answered. This card late game, if it sticks on the board and it's a 6K base, you're able to just rest, discard a card, and pop, if you have your combo pieces, anything, allowing you to basically allow your leader to swing for 15K twice. Because what I do, if I do have the Garp out and he's already been out, so I did not waste any Dawn to play him, I will put all 10 Dawn on Lucci, swing 15, rest Garp, depending if I have combo pieces, trash one card, pop whatever, trash two cards, restand your leader, and then swing another 15. This is what I meant that you can do that. Again, very hard to do, because when you're playing the Garp, you're playing him to slow down the game right away by popping a 4-drop or less, or even more depending on your combo. And then since he's rested to do that effect, they just go gun-ho to get rid of him, which is good because it's another scapegoat from attacking your leader, but then he usually does not survive. So main reason why I play him is to slow down the game and use him as a scapegoat. And he's searchable because he is a Navy. From there, we play another main guy for Sakazukis. Sakazuki on play, trash one card, pop a 5 cost or less. Again, combo pieces, you're looking at 9, 10, and 7s that you're able to pop, but by itself, 5-drop or less is still very good sweet spot. That's the reason you run 4. If you see multiple copies of him, you can always trash himself by playing one Sakazuki and trashing the other Sakazuki if you really don't need another Sakazuki. So, very, very strong card. Definitely recommended. It's going to slow down your opponent. It's going to slow down the aggression. And it's a 6-drop, 7K beater. Such a good stat line. From there, we're going to go to the big boys. After you delay your opponent so much, you then can start playing your 3 Ishos. Isho is a Navy, so you can search him. So he's a searchable top ender. So that's the reason I run 3. And he is so good because on play, if your opponent has 6 cards or more, you can randomly trash 2. And that's the important part. It's random. So your opponent doesn't get to pick. So giving you a chance to get rid of their cards that's going to try to get you back from playing the Isho. I remember I played Croc, blue mono Croc, and then I played Isho, and I was able to discard 2 other 10-drops, so they weren't able to 10-drop me back. And I was able to just carry the game with just Isho. So that's the main reason you run Isho, because of Whitebeard, mono blue Nami, mono blue Croc. But the other reason is because when you put 1 down on him, your whole opponent side of the field gets -3. Allowing your Sakazukis, your Garps, your Kobe, and your other Kobe to start popping even more with the combo. He's an 8-drop 9K beater, so it also gives you a very good stat line. Next card is going to be 2 Shanks. So Shanks is a gimmick, but it also works with a combo. As you see with the 4 Tashigis, the 4 Kuzans, Isho, you can start using his effect even more than what he does on its own. So what does he do? On play, trash 1 card, you pop your opponent field that are 1 cost or less. So not too much. I mean, I guess Zoro and Law, it can come up. But against other decks, you're really not going to use his effect unless you combo with him. So if you have Isho out, you can basically dark hole everything on your opponent's field that's a 4-drop or less. If you have 2 4-drop Kuzans out, you can split the -4, so you can -4 a 5-drop, -4 another 5-drop, and now when he comes out, you're getting rid of those 2 5-drops that became 1 and other cards that are 1 or less. If you have Tashigi's out, you can -2, so you can now remove 3 costs or less, but you know, Tashigi can only target 1 card at a time, and so on and so forth. So basically, it's a big dark hole that has to combo, and it's not that hard to combo with the deck, as you notice, with the 16 blockers, 10 2Ks, and the 4 4K counters. You're able to slow down the game enough that you're able to get to these cards pretty healthy, giving you a big body on the board and a chance to come back in the kickback. So that's the reason I play 2 Shanks. So other than the 4-drop Kobe, these two Shanks are the next card that I feel like you guys can remove if you feel like the game is too fast, you can't get to this healthy enough, and you need other cards, either more 2Ks or whatever. Those are the three cards I will recommend that you can remove. And then lastly, of course, you can't run a top ender deck of mono black without the 10 drops. Again, 10 drops on play, you -5 on everything on your opponent's board, and then you can pop 1/0 cost. So right there on play, you're popping a 5 cost or less. If you have a 4-drop Kuzan already, you can start popping a 9-drop or less when he comes to play. If you have two 4-drop Kuzans or a 4-drop Kuzan and a Tashigi, you can pop anything when he comes out. Okay? Once he's out, your combos become even stronger, right? Because right now he's gonna be a -5 on your turn on your opponent's field constantly, allowing the Shanks to come out popping us your whole opponent's field. That's a 6 cost or less. If you have Isho and the 10-drop Kuzan, you're able to pop your whole opponent's field that are 9-drop or less, which is basically everything, right? So of course, very rare that you're gonna have a 10-drop and an Isho out and then play the 9-drop. It does happen, but very rare. Don't count on that. But point being is you have many options to do combos. So when the 9-drop comes out, you're targeting and you're hitting a lot, and then having a big body on the board. You could technically run this at 3, just because how good it is. But I believe Isho's even stronger, just because the meta is so slow. And people like to draw a lot of cards with Whitebeard, Nami, Blue Croc, and Rebecca, allowing you to not only have a big body, but then you control your opponent's hand, especially against the Nami. Since the meta is very slow, Namis can somehow just cheese their way through the game, but Isho's completely stopped that. And with the Whitebeard, also Isho is your best friend. So that's the reason I chose Isho to be the main boss monster, because it's searchable, it's good against the meta, and then you still get to -3 with his effect. If you have 2 Ishos out, you're minusing 6. The 9-drops and the 10-drops. 10-drops also help you. The 9-drops is more of a gimmick. I would not be mad if somebody wants to do 3 10-drops and 1 9-drop. But remember, the 9-drop also helps you to play on curve. If you already have combo pieces out, to not only blow up the field, but then also on your 9-drop turn have a monster that you can play, since you're going to be off your curve for the 10-drop. So that's the opinion on why it shows 3 Ishos, 2 Shanks, and 2 10-drops. Again, a lot of top ender. All these are non-counters. Looking at 5 big monsters with non-counters. But the meta is so slow, like I keep repeating myself, that you're able to get this pretty safely until the meta becomes fast again. And once it becomes fast, definitely you gotta alter the deck list, just because that could be your weakness in this deck. And that's it, guys. That is the deck list for the Lucci Mono Black. It is, as you saw, mainly navy. Another caveat that I forgot to mention is that the Kuzans and the 9-drops are not navy. 10-drop is former navy. 9-drop is red hair pirates. You cannot search those top enders. The only one that you can search as a top ender is Isho. What else I was gonna mention? So, oh yeah, so pure navy. You're looking at, with your brand new, you're looking at 31 cards that you're hitting, 19 whiffable cards with the Bartholomews, Fukuros, Sabos, and then the top enders I just mentioned. But even then, that's still good ratios for you to hit. Let's go ahead and move on to the Smoker deck list. So with Smoker, it's the exact same deck list. Smoker's effect is with 1 Dawn on him, you can -1 cost on any of your opponent's card. And if there's a 0-drop, he gets a 1000 power. But the -1 cost is so essential that I believe, in my opinion, Smoker is the way to go in this type of control deck list, and late game deck list. Because now your Shanks can pop a 2 cost or less immediately. Your Sakazukis are hitting 6 cost or less. Your Garps are hitting a 5 cost or less. The other Kobe's hitting a 3 cost or less. the original Kobe is hitting 4 costs or less, and you don't need combo cards out there. That just makes it stronger, because now your Sakazuki, if you have a 4-drop Kuzan, you can hit 10 drops right away. Since it's a -4, your leader is a -1, that equals -5, and your Sakazuki can already can already hit a 5. So it just gives you more control power, and not counting on the combo cards as much like Lucci. Because of that, the card that you will remove is 3 Tashigis. These cards will be replaced with 3 Garps. So Garp is still a 2k counter, very strong card. But the good thing about the Garp is with 2 Dawn on him, when attacking, you can pop a 0 cost. So when you play against Zoro and Law, with your leader's effect and Garp out, you can slow down the game, not only put pressure or attack something that's resting, but then pop something else, so then they don't bombard you on the kickback. So that's the main change you want to change. You cannot run Garp on Lucci, because the chance of you hitting his effect early is basically never going to happen. He does become good late game when you have the 10 drop out, because then he can start popping 5 drops or less for just a low guy that's a 2k counter. But that's just, I don't know. I just feel like having the Tashigis are needed more in the Lucci deck, but you don't need it as much in the Smoker deck list. You can also just do 1 Suru and 2 Tashigis to remove for the 3 Garps. But you definitely want to run the 3 Garps in the Smoker deck list, and that's it. And then if you don't use these Garps, they're also a 2k counter, keeping the 10 2ks in the mono black. And that's it, guys. So that is the Smoker deck list. That is the Lucci deck list. I told you the cards that you could remove if you need to make any changes, and try it out. Try it out before the meta becomes faster. I think this is the time to play the mono black. Win a couple tournaments with it. Let me know how you guys do. If there's any changes you think I should make or try out, definitely let me know. And the next video I think I'll probably make will be my Rebecca deck list, and then maybe even some gameplay. So until then, guys, Dayraw TCG signing out.